Hey, Shawnee from SpeedCubeReview.com. So I'm going to do one more mega comparison, and these are on shape mods. It's kind of a mega comparison of all of the shape mods out there that I have, and what I like, what's good, because there's so many things that it's hard to tell, what might be the best one to get, and just kind of compare them. I'm going to start with sort of the most common ones, which is ones from YJ and MoYu, and are based off of the Yulong, Sulong, Guanlong design. They've kind of said it's based off of each of those from time to time. And we have the Fisher Cube, the Crazy Fisher Cube, the Windmill Cube, which I kind of turned into a Cutter Cube, which is one where you have to turn the side, but didn't quite move pieces around. So that's why that's like that. The Crazy Windmill Cube, and then the Axis Cube. All of these are the same idea. They're just a 3x3 shape mod. And they all work really well. There's ones that they're calling version 2 that have a bit larger holes, and all these look very similar with the holes they have. They were just older versions of like the Fisher Cube that didn't have that. The reason they're called shape mods is because they change shape. All of these perform equally as well. They're all based on the same design, so they all move exceptionally well and are all really nice puzzles. As far as difficulty, I'll get more into that at the end, but the Fisher Cube is definitely the easiest of them. One of the hardest is either going to be the Axis Cube or Crazy Fisher Cube. I wouldn't say Axis is a little bit more difficult, just the way the pieces are shaped, but both of these feel the most crazy when they get mixed up. So I'm going to move these right over here and move on to mirror cubes, also called bump cubes. There's ones from Shengsho as well as Yushin. Those are the two big ones, and they seem to be bundled off the exact same design. It almost feels like Yushin used Shengsho's design, or there's some partnership there. Again, these are 3x3 shape mods, and this was actually the first shape mod I ever bought, and it's a lot of the first shape mods other people buy. This is one of the easier ones to start with because it's still square shaped, and you're just looking at the shape of pieces and lining them up instead of looking at, triangles and other shapes like this. They both perform equally as well, and the Yushin one honestly feels like the exact same cube. Cube Twist took the Yushin mirror blocks, it looks like they took them from there, and created a Siamese cube, which it's sealed right there and there. So you can move these and that as well. I have a review of this cube and a walkthrough of solving it, because when you're restricted to just those movements, it's a little more difficult for some of the algorithms. You have to do specific ones and can't do other ones. One that's very similar to that is the YJ Rainbow Cube, or sometimes called Unequal Cube, and it's not actually mirror blocks. So it looks like it from some angles, but you can see here we've got different sizes going up and across and down here. This one on the top and bottom, it's just a 3x3. And on the sides, they're all the same. It's just going from down to the top. There is a specific way this has to be oriented, and with that you can tell with the stickers. So if you took the stickers off, they could be mixed up in different spots. This piece could be here and reverse. So one thing I haven't talked about yet is orienting the centers. Some cubes, like the Fisher Cube, you do not need to orient this center, but you do with this one, because this center could be turned 90 degrees. There's a couple algorithms for orienting the centers. A cube like the mirror blocks, you don't have to, but if you want that brushed metal line to match up with these stickers, then you would want to do that. So cubes we have to orient the centers are, I guess, a little more difficult, but as long as you know those one or two algorithms, it's the exact same. After this, I want to talk about the ghost cubes. So Fangxi came out with this one, although it was pretty much a copy of the Verist Cube. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so now there's a partnership there, and he makes money off of those ones being sold. What a ghost cube is a shape mod, but you cannot just make a regular turn. You have to make it out of place and then turn it. So for example, this one's a 2x2. It turns really well. It's much bigger than I thought it would be, and almost a bit hollow feeling. With the 3x3 ghost cube, you can see right here, 1 layer, 2 layer, and 3 layers, and then from there we'd have to line it up this way to move those ones. So that's what a ghost cube is, and these are based off of other designs that are normally sold by Meffert, but those are sometimes harder to come by. This one is from the brand Ninja, and this is Fengkun. The Ninja ones come in a lot of different colored clear plastics, and is really cool to look at, so if you want a specific kind of transparent color, that would be the way to go. They both move very similarly, similar price point. you don't really need stickers because every single piece is a different shape. Now, of all of the puzzles that I've shown, the Ghost Cube is definitely the most difficult, mainly because a lot of pieces, even though they're different shapes, like that looks very similar to that, which looks very similar to that, which looks very similar to that. And so they all are so close that there's been times when I've solved this that I thought it was solved, but when I looked, I could see a slight bump on one of the pieces and realized that I had a couple things swapped around. So those are the Ghost Cubes. Very smooth. These don't corner cut very well, neither does the mirror blocks. At least something like compared to the ones that YJ produces that has these more Florian cuts that has more corner cutting. I am not speed solving these, but I know someone who does speed solve mirror blocks and has a tutorial on sanding pieces down and making it more speed solvable. Currently, there's not really one where you can just get right out of the box to speed solve. As you can see, it moves well though. So then we get to Master Morphixes. Now, there's one that's not in here that's being produced by Chi, and just looking at the photos, it looks like the one from Chi is going to be much nicer than these other ones. And the main reason is there's no holes here. There's no Florian cuts. So if you're slightly out of place, then it's just not going to budge at all. So this one is from Yushin, this one Shengsho, and I just left the centers flipped 180 degrees. And these two are Landland. You can see this one that has different colored, or the same colored stickers. This one is YJ. It's actually the same exact puzzle, but everything's just comes to a point. These are 3x3 shape mods, just like the Fisher Cube is. The difference is we have the centers here, which are the two colors. These are the edges, which can sometimes be swapped around, which can cause some issues. And then we have the corners. This is, of the shape mods that's not like a Ghost Cube, this is probably one of the more difficult ones for me, just because it's easy to misplace those edges. It's actually pretty fast to insert the edges once you get used to it, because you can, there's 3 that are the exact same. But when you get to the last layer, that can usually throw things off. Of these, the Yushin one is the most smooth and flows really well. But like I said, there's a Chi one that's coming out, and that one is going to probably become the best one to get. You can see it corner cuts this way, but just not the other way. There is one more 3x3 shape mod I want to show, and it's a Dianxing Dipyrimid. Now this puzzle is made from a very simple design. So you can even see just the way this center looks. It looks like an old school Rubik's Cube, and it kind of moves like one. I've lubricated it. I haven't actually retensioned it. Lubrication helped the most. And for something that I'm not going to speed solve, I am fine with that more simple design. If you want something to speed solve, you would definitely want to modify this. Of all the puzzles, this looks the coolest in its solved state, in my opinion. These ones look kind of cool. Something like a Ghost Cube looks really fun mixed up. When in its solved state, this is my favorite. What's nice about this also is the centers do not need to be oriented. They're all just nice squares without any colors or arrows changing. So you don't even have to worry about that. This solves like a regular 3x3, no super cube orientation of centers needed, and it's a lot of fun. Lastly, I want to get to 4x4 shape mods. I did a video talking about the ones that are based off of an AoSu. So we've got the 4x4 Fisher Cube, the 4x4 Axis Cube, the 4x4 MegaMorphix, and then this is again from Dianxing. It is a 12-colored Dipyrimid. Now, honestly, of all the cubes, this one is the one that just feels the coolest. It has a really nice design to it. It's really smooth, and it performs really well. I have a review of this and a walkthrough on how to solve it. The only thing I don't like about this is when it's scrambled, these pieces, these corners kind of stick up compared to the rest of them, and it feels fragile. I've never broken anything with it, but as far as mixed up, that's the only thing I don't like about it. This was my first 4x4 shape mod, and I've actually re-stickered it just so it's a little bit brighter shades. You can see that green looks a little bit different. Hard to tell exactly because this is blue plastic. And if you want to get a 4x4 shape mod, this would be one of my favorite ones, because you don't need to worry about orienting all the centers like you would in a super cube, because you can just do the white and yellow last and be fine with that. You can actually switch up these colors. So right now we've got green, red, blue, orange, and I do this, and now we've got red and blue, green, orange. So I've switched that green and blue, and you can't really do that with many other puzzles. So there's sort of different ways you can have those pieces. This one and the axis cube, and I lost a sticker there, are two of the more difficult ones. This one can be quite difficult. You don't need to orient all the centers because those ones can swap, but it really looks jumbled, mixed up. This again is more of a simple design, but if you're not speed solving it, there's no big worry with that. All of these can look quite crazy once they start getting jumbled, and if you're going to get any shape mod, they're all fun. What I want to talk about at the end is just which ones I like and why. So my final thoughts on this: if you want a very simple shape mod to start, get the mirror blocks. Shangsha ones are nice. If you want something kind of like that, but a little nicer, the rainbow cube would be the way to go. And if you want something that's just a little bit different, not super difficult, but works well, the Fisher cube would be that. Then if you want a really difficult 3x3, that's where the ghost cube comes in. And even right here, you can see that I thought it was in the right spot, but it's actually not. So let's fix that. If you want something that looks really cool solved, get the Dipyrimid. For 4x4, the Fisher cube is my favorite one, just because it's not too difficult. You do need to do a different PLL algorithm than the one that most people do. So there is a new algorithm you'd have to learn for that. But the OLL algorithm that a lot of people do, at least starting out, works fine for this. So the Fisher cube is a good one to jump into. After that, the MegaMorphix definitely is fun, but frustrating. I've been so frustrated with this at times. So those are my thoughts and my recommendations for getting a shape mod. I think shape mods are great. It's a good break from just repetition of speed solving. Thank you very much. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.